Welcome back to my channel. I am back with another Love and Hip Hop Miami review. So let's just get right into it because a lot happened in this episode. So at the very beginning of this episode, Joy, Trina, and Hawt Topic are together having a conversation. And the conversation is about Joy and Bootz' upcoming event that they're doing together to launch both of their products. And she said that she's nervous that Shay is going to show up to her event and destroy it the way that her and Bootz did to Shay's event in last week's episode. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm not feeling Joy this season. Usually I kind of like her because she seems to be more peaceful and more calm, but this season to me she seems like a villain because the way that she went after Shay for no reason at all was crazy. Gael lied to Joy and said that Shay compared Gael and Joy to each other because they both allegedly slept with their sisters' husbands, and that's not what Shay said. Shay was actually defending Joy, but Gael lied to Joy, and instead of Joy going to Shay woman to woman and asking her if what Gael said was true, she just ran with whatever Gael said, and then she sat up there and she linked up with Bootz to go destroy Shay's event. And them coming to destroy Shay's event in last week's episode made them look bad. It didn't make Shay look bad because Bootz is beautiful. I always thought that she was really pretty. I think Shay is pretty too. And I just felt like it gave Hater the way that Bootz walked in and the things that she was saying to Shay. It made her look like she was jealous, even though she probably is not jealous of Shay at all. The way that they did this scene, it made it look like she was jealous of Shay. And I just feel like it wasn't a good look for her. And the thing is, they were beefing over something so stupid that happened so many years ago. How are you beefing because you two were put in a Fabulous video and one of you got the lead role and the other one only made a small cameo in the video? That's not nothing to be beefing about for all these years. I just think that's crazy. When Bootz showed up, I thought that she was going to be on this season and she was going to have a valid reason to be beefing with Shay, but to me, that's a stupid reason for the two of them to beef, and I'm sure maybe something else happened other than the music video situation, but in last week's episode when Bootz was telling the reason why her and Shay are beefing, that's what she said. She said it was over the music video. Now, during this conversation, Trina ends up bringing up Zoey, who we haven't seen this season at all. And according to Trina, Zoey had weight loss surgery, but she wants to come back to Miami and get back to her music, and she wants to work with Trina on some music, which Trina said that she was interested in doing. But then that's when Joy and Hawt Topic start bringing up the fact that they don't like Chyng Diamond because of the way that she treated Zoey, and they said that, you know, nobody in Miami is messing with Chyng Diamond because of the way that she treated her. So there's definitely some drama between Chyng and the rest of the girls on the show. Now, Miami Tip ends up showing up while they're having this conversation, and she apologizes for being late, but she tells them that she's been going through some things because she said that her son is going away to college and now her house is going to be empty, and she wanted it to be the time for her and her boyfriend to move in together and really focus on taking the next steps in their relationship. But she said that her boyfriend has been acting weird lately. She said that he's been acting differently, and every time he gets a phone call, he walks out of the room. So now she feels like he's hiding something. I feel like this has probably been happening for a while in their relationship, but because she was so focused on Amara and being in her business, she wasn't paying attention to what was going on in her own house. And usually I like Miami Tip, but I don't like the way that she came for Amara this season because it seemed like she was defending Alan and dragging Amara, and I feel like Alan is indefensible. And come to find out, Miami Tip's boyfriend Chuck was cheating on her because in this episode, she's helping her son pack up the truck so that he can leave to go to college, which I just want to say, it seems like she did a really good job raising her son. He's handsome, he's smart, he's going to college, he seems like a really good guy. But she starts crying and she tells her son that she overheard a conversation that her boyfriend Chuck was having with another woman on the phone, and basically he was saying that he was on set filming for Love and Hip Hop, and he was bragging about how the more scenes Miami Tip gets, the more scenes he gets, so now she feels like he's been using her. And Tip did say during this conversation with her son that maybe this is her karma for the way that she, you know, got involved in Amara's business. I do feel bad for Miami Tip that she's going through this because she seemed to really love her boyfriend from what we were able to see on the show, and she really wanted to move forward with getting married and having a baby with him, and now she has to change everything because of him cheating on her. But I will say at least she has a good support system in her son because he gave her really good advice. He told her that she could either crumble from this situation or she could rise up and keep moving forward, and I feel like she should just keep moving forward. But I think maybe now she'll think twice about judging or getting too involved in other people's relationships because hers might not be going as well as she thinks it is either. Because of all the drama that Shay had at her event in last week's episode, the guy that she went on a date with that her mother hooked her up with, his name is Waleed, she ended up meeting up with him in this episode, and she apologizes to him for the way that she was acting in last week's episode when Bootz and Joy came and destroyed her event. And Waleed said that he understood why Shay was so upset and why she was going off because they did come to her event and stir up some trouble, but he said that he did not like the way that she treated and disrespected him. And look, I definitely see both sides of this situation. Shay definitely definitely was rude to Waleed, the way that she was talking to him, telling him to get off her and stop pulling on her and stop trying to, separate her from people she didn't need him to hold her back. The way that she said it was rude. However, she was in the middle of a situation that she was blindsided by. She didn't know that Joy and Bootz were going to show up to her event and destroy it and start throwing drinks and stuff. And she claims that her mother got wet with a drink, so that's the reason why she was flipping out the way that she was. And a lot of times when people are getting ready to fight and they're really angry, they don't want anybody holding them back. That pisses people off even more, especially a guy she barely knows, that she went on one date with. She barely knows him. She's not comfortable with him. So him grabbing and holding her back, that pissed her off. I do think that she could have handled it differently. However, in that type of situation, I can understand why she was already mad. But Waleed starts telling Shay that he can't be around all that drama. It's just not a good look for him. And she felt judged by him because she feels like he shouldn't be judging anybody because he's been to jail before and he admitted that he has his own anger issues that he's worked through. So she feels like he's the last person who should be judging her. But he's saying he's not judging her. He just doesn't want to be around that type of drama anymore because it can get him into some trouble. And I understood where he was coming from. I mean, I understood where Shay was coming from too. At the end of the day, she just wanted him to have her back in that situation and not make it seem like she was wrong when she wasn't the one that started the issue. Bootz and Joy were the ones that brought the issue to her event. She was just defending herself. But at the same time, she didn't have to talk to him the way that she spoke to him too. And I feel like Shay wasn't acknowledging the way that she made him feel when she was basically yelling at him at the event. But then she started saying a little bit too much because he didn't insult her during this conversation, but she insulted him. She called him a pussy, okay? She said that she didn't want a weak man that comes off like a pussy, and he tried to defend himself, and she shut him down completely. She told him that she was leaving, that she was walking away from him. She didn't want anything to do with him anymore, and she called him Urkel, and I thought that was mean. I definitely thought that was mean. I don't think he gives Urkel at all. I just think he wasn't really her type. So after Shay has this explosive argument with Waleed, she ends up meeting up with her mother the next day, and her mom is really upset with her because she said that she talked to the aunt of Waleed, and the aunt told her that Shay went off on him and called him Urkel. And obviously her mom feels some type of way because she thought Shay said that she wanted a good guy, and so she hooked her up with a good guy, and Shay basically ruined that relationship. Shay tells her mother that she feels like she was being judged by Waleed, that he was making it seem like she was the problem in that situation when she wasn't the one who caused the drama. Bootz and Joy brought the drama to her. But Shay's mom is not trying to hear it. She said that Shay basically wants a knucklehead. She doesn't want a good guy, and that's the reason why she treated Waleed the way that she did. But then her mom started talking about how she was hurt when Joy told her at the event that she raised a serpent and that it makes her look bad the way that Shay acts. And I didn't really like that her mom said that because I feel like in this situation, her mom could have had Shay's back a little bit because Shay wasn't the one who caused this drama. They brought it to her, and I feel like Shay wanted some support in that situation and she didn't really get it. And so this argument between Shay and her mom, it made me sad a little bit because it shows that they have a lot of cracks in their relationship. Because Shay's mom is saying that she doesn't like that way that Shay reacts to things, that every time somebody tries to bait Shay into some drama, Shay takes the bait and then she gives people the reaction that they wanted, and she wants Shay to stop doing that. But Shay says that she never feels like her mom has her back, says that all her life she never felt like her mom or her dad had her back, and that's why she looks for a man to have her back, and that's probably why she stayed with Fabo so long. And when her family was telling her to leave him, she wouldn't leave him because she probably felt more secure or more comfortable in that situation than she felt with her family. She probably felt like she didn't have a strong, solid foundation with her family, so if she left Fabo, she would be alone. So I just feel like they have a lot of work to do on their relationship. I really do. I understood both sides. I understood what Shay's mom was trying to say to Shay. She just wants Shay to do good. She wants Shay to not be involved in drama and be the woman that she knows she can be. And she also doesn't want her to be with a guy who's a piece of shit. She wants her to be with a good guy that respects her and brings some peace to her life instead of guys that bring nothing but drama. But at the same time, Shay is saying that her mom doesn't really make her feel supported. So I feel like they just have a lot of work to do on there. Now, Michael ends up going to LA in this episode to meet with his side chick Nadia and see the baby that she had. He wasn't there for the birth of her baby or Rada's baby, and he kind of said that in this episode that he wasn't there for either one of the births, and that's why Nadia said that she didn't feel so bad because he missed Rada's baby's birth too, which is crazy to me because it's like the crumbs that these these women accept from Michael only because he has money? Because let's be clear, that's the only reason why they're accepting this behavior from him, in my opinion, is because of the fact that he has money. But then Michael starts talking to Nadia about this woman in Ghana that he might have pregnant as well, and he says that he's glad that Nadia hasn't gone and brought this information to Rada. So it's crazy to me that he's talking to one of his side chicks about another side chick that he might have pregnant, and Rada's supposed to be the main chick in the situation and she doesn't know anything about it. And then he's confiding in Nadia about this situation, even though Nadia has threatened multiple times to go to Rada and tell her everything because she feels some type of way about being neglected by Michael. Because Nadia starts telling Michael that she wants her and the baby to move to Miami, and he was not feeling it at all. He even came out of his mouth and said that, he can have her and the baby fly into Miami once a month. So he's only planning on seeing this baby once a month. And Nadia gets really upset about this because she said that she doesn't want her and her baby to be treated differently. And she said that, she doesn't want to feel like she's neglected because she doesn't have any support in LA. It's just her and the baby. And Nadia was throwing me off a little bit because she was saying in her confessional that she knew exactly what she was getting herself into when she decided to have a baby by Michael, and said that she knew that by having a baby by him, it wasn't going to lead to them being a family, but she doesn't want to feel neglected. But it's like, girl, you knew what you were getting yourself into. You knew you weren't going to have a relationship with him. I don't know. It's giving that she wants to be in Rada's place. And I don't even know why she would want to be in Rada's place, because Rada's not even in a good place. I mean, he cheats on her all the time. And yes, she gave him permission to see other women, but he had a baby on her, and she said that was one of the rules that she put on the relationship that he couldn't do. So I think the whole thing is delusional to me. But all of a sudden, while they're having this conversation, there's a knock at the door and there's a woman behind the door, and Nadia opens it, and the woman says that she's there to give a DNA test so that Michael can find out if this baby is his. And obviously she was upset about this and she blamed Rada for it. And yes, Rada is the one who told him that he needs to get a DNA test, but he probably also wanted to get a DNA test himself too to make sure the baby was actually his. And Nadia tells Michael that because he did this DNA test on the baby, that when it proves that he's actually the father, he needs to make it up to her by moving her and the baby to Miami. And I don't really know what her intentions are. I don't know if she wants to move to Miami because she wants him to be closer to the baby so that he can spend more time with the baby, or if she just wants to be close to Rada so she can rub it in her face. I don't know really what she's trying to do. I just think it's crazy that they put themselves in this situation with this man to begin with. So Rada and Michael end up meeting up when he comes back to Miami, and he has the test results in his hand that he hasn't opened yet. And Rada gets annoyed at him because he did the DNA test at Nadia's house. She wanted him to do it at an actual clinic. And honestly, I know why she was upset about him going to the house, but I don't think it matters at this point. He's already slept with this woman multiple times and he got her pregnant. So I mean, what else is left for them to do? So Michael opens up the test results and it says the baby's name and it has Michael's last name on it. And she gets pissed off because the baby has his last name. And I just don't understand why she's mad that this baby has his last name, because if the results say that he's the father, why is it wrong for the baby to have his last name? It's giving that she wants him to neglect this baby because he had it outside of their relationship. And I understand that she's heard about it and that this was not a part of the plan, but he did it anyway, and it's not the baby's fault. So I feel like the baby shouldn't have to suffer. And the results say that he's the father of this baby. And Rada starts crying and she starts going off on him, telling him that she's been loyal to him and he can't even have self-control. And it's like, well, you allowed this to happen when you agreed to be in an open relationship with this man. And it's not even an open relationship because you're not allowed to see other people, but you allowed him to go see other people. You allowed him to have all these side chicks. What did you think was going to happen? That he was just going to keep sleeping with these women and one of them wasn't going to end up getting pregnant at some point, or that he wasn't going to build a bond with one of these women? What did she think? I do feel bad for her in this situation because she has been loyal to him and it's clear that she loves him, but you allowed this disrespect to go on, and she's still allowing the disrespect to go on in this situation because she's telling him that now she has to live with the choices that he made, and he tells her that it's not her problem, but she says that it is her problem because every time she sees this other baby, she's going to be reminded of how he betrayed her. And it's like, well, if you're not going to be able to get over it, then you're going to have to leave the relationship with him. That's just what you're going to have to do. Why stay with a man who betrayed you? And you allowed him to do it too. So it's like she does need to take some type of accountability, because even though you put rules on the open relationship that you guys have with each other, you still allowed him to step out on the relationship. And then you thought that once you got pregnant and had a baby by him, all of that was going to stop, and it hasn't. It's like she enabled his behavior. Yes, he's a grown-ass man and he knows right from wrong and he knows what he should and shouldn't be doing. And so, yes, he's wrong, but she needs to take accountability for the fact that she enabled his behavior. But Michael doesn't seem to really care about Rada that much because she's sitting there crying, going off on him, and he thought this was the right time to tell her that Nadia wants to move to Miami with the baby. And she starts getting upset, saying that she doesn't want that to happen. And he's saying that he doesn't think it's a big deal because the babies will be able to play together and grow up together. And Rada just throws a drink on him and gets up and walks away because it seems like she's fed up with this whole situation. I do feel bad for her in this situation. Like, he's putting a lot of stress on her, but she's also allowing it to go on by continuing to be involved in this situation. So Miami Tip's boyfriend Chuck ends up meeting up with her because she has this footage that she needs to give to him, and she confronts him immediately about his cheating. And when she confronts him about his cheating, he denies it. He claims that this woman was just a friend of his and that it was nothing more than that, but she knows that he's not being truthful. She knows that he's lying, and she basically tells him that. And she goes over what she heard him saying to the woman on the phone about bragging how when she gets more scenes, he gets more scenes on the show. So basically he was using her for clout. And at this point, he didn't have anything to say. He did tell her that he was sorry and he asked her how they could fix things, but she told him that she doesn't want to fix it. She wants him to leave her alone and be done. And he said that he wasn't going to let her go. And it's like, dude, you couldn't even be honest and say that you were cheating on her. Like, just own up to it. She already caught you, so there's no point in lying about it and trying to hide it now. He's not even all that, and he doesn't have any bass in his voice, so I was surprised that she was upset over him anyway. I mean, I'm not trying to invalidate her feelings, but to me, he doesn't really give he's something that you should be upset about losing. So it's the night of Joy and Bootz' event, and they end up having, Trina and everybody show up to support them, and they seem to be getting along pretty well with each other. Surprisingly, Shay did not show up to ruin their event, even though they ruined hers. Bobby did show up though, and there was definitely a little back and forth between him and Hot Topic because obviously they got into it a few episodes ago because Bobby put her and Miami Tip out of his event because of the way that they treated Amara. I'm on Bobby's side in this situation because I don't think that they should have gotten involved in Amara's situation with Alan to accuse her of getting him arrested and you have no proof that she did that, and then it's like you're defending Alan against her. I just think that's crazy. Bobby and Hot Topic do hug and make up with each other, but I think there's more drama to come between the two of them because I don't know, there's something about Hot Topic that I don't like. She gives shady, messy, and like a liar, so I'm not really feeling her. But then Ching Diamond ends up showing up. The reason why she shows up is because she met up with Rocky in this episode. Rocky is her manager, and Rocky told her that Trina and some of the other people in Miami are not feeling her. That's why they didn't show up to her event a few episodes ago, because of the way that she treated Zoey. So Ching wanted to try to do damage control with Trina, and that's why she shows up to this event. Now, when she shows up, the guy is not really trying to let her through so she can go talk to them, but Bobby tells them to let her in, and when she goes over there, she greets everybody, and everybody greets her back because they're not trying to cause drama at the event, but Joy just completely ignores Chyng Diamond. And look, don't get me wrong, I understand why Joy feels some type of way about Ching because Joy is cool with Zoey now and she doesn't like the way that Zoey was treated. However, I think ignoring Chyng Diamond was kind of unnecessary. I think it caused all the drama that ends up going on at the end of this episode because I just felt like she could have acknowledged her even though she doesn't really like her because, Trina and everybody else that was over there wasn't really feeling Ching either because of how she treated Zoey, but Ching didn't come up to them with an attitude. She came up to them friendly with a smile on her face, so what's the reason to be rude to her when she walks up? I just felt like they could have had a more civil conversation, but Joy set the tone for it to not be civil. Joy immediately starts telling Ching that she feels some type of way about her for the way that she treated Zoey because Zoey really liked Ching, and then Ching turned on her, and Ching said that she had an issue with Zoey because of the way that Zoey was talking to her. She said that she didn't like when Zoey called her boyfriend Marquez a jailbird because Ching herself had just came from jail, and then she said she has a lot of family members in jail, so she felt offended by Zoey saying what she said. I see both sides in the Zoey and Ching situation, and this is how I feel about it. When Zoey and Ching got cool with each other, Ching was oversharing with Zoey about her relationship with Marquez. She was telling Zoey all the bad things about Marquez, and when you tell your friend all the bad things about a guy you're in a relationship with, your friend is not going to like him. So yes, Zoey was talking bad about Marquez, but it's because of the things that Ching was saying to her. Ching was saying that he doesn't keep a job, he's always in jail, and Zoey wanted her to focus on her music and not let Marquez bring her down. So yes, she was saying some crazy things about Marquez, but Chyng is the one who gave her the information to say these negative things about him. Zoey was not wrong in the things that she was saying about Marquez. However, once Chyng showed Zoey that she didn't like the things that she was saying, Zoey should have stopped, and she didn't. She just kept going. So that's when Chyng went below the belt and she started really coming for Zoey and Zoey's relationship and her music and everything. So I do think that Chyng took things way too far, but I understand both sides of the situation. Hot Topic tried to chime in and try to go at Chyng. Chyng ate her up. I'm sorry. She definitely did, because she was basically telling Hot Topic that she shouldn't be involved in the conversation because she doesn't do anything. Like, what exactly does she do? And it's true. What exactly does Hot Topic do, and what does she bring to the show? Because she's not doing music. We don't see her launching any products. She's not a dancer. She's not in a romantic relationship with anybody on the show. So what's the point of her being there? So Chyng definitely ate her up a little bit. And look, I kind of understand what Chyng was saying about Joy and everybody, because Joy and them were mean to Zoey too at first. Like, they treated her really badly her first season that she was there, to the point where Zoey really felt some type of way because of the way that they were treating her. So Chyng feels like if they were mean to Zoey before, why are they judging her when she had an issue with Zoey when they did the same thing? So I get that too. I don't feel like anybody should be being mean to Zoey. I actually really like her. I wish she was a part of this season, but I understand both sides of the situation. But those are my thoughts on this week's episode of Love and Hip Hop Miami. Let me know what you guys thought about this episode down in the comments section, and I'll talk to you guys in my next video.